All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 15 of Bros, Bumps, and Beers. And boys, we can honestly say this is the first time you will not hear one can open in the opening. Matt, tell us why.
It's the Tebow episode.
Well, we had to restart.
This is take two. This is take two. Jordan came in with a real pissy attitude.
Yeah.
He was real sad.
Yeah, about stupid Toronto sports that don't matter.
Yeah, the Raptors are losing by a lot. No, we're not doing this again.
Don't.
This is
I'm not
exactly how it started last time. Teams are losing. You think I'd be used to it. I'm not. Sadness eternal. Continue.
So if the Packers lose next week...
Why would you say this?
If the Packers lose
Stop talking. Don't put it into existence. They're playing the Vikings. It counts as double.
Double?
Wait, now we have to start again. Now we have to
Are
start
you upset?
again.
Are you upset
I
again?
am mad again. Mad again.
At least you got some energy to you. You're not so sad. You're
Yeah.
not sad. You're just mad.
I prefer the mad energy over the sad energy.
It's like four of my personalities are fighting each other in my
But guys, episode 15, do you think we'd ever get to episode 15?
No.
Oh, okay.
James didn't. James for sure did.
Shout out James.
No, actually, after the first few, I actually thought we did. Like, I'll be that guy. Like,
I will.
We got cooking and it felt fun. Like, it is fun, but I don't want to sound hokey, but like the vibe was good. Oh, and it became something we look forward to, and that's when it's like, okay, now we're cooking.
This is not hard to do every week.
No, and you know what though? You know what? If you go back and listen to our first episodes to now, like I say, our last 7 or 8 episodes have been...
Well, it's once we got together.
Super long
and way better. The first few episodes, like, we are doing a podcast about wrestling and beer. Okay, Matt, please evaluate your beer, please.
Well, you know what? Zoom doesn't help because like there's so many small pieces of audio that get picked up. Like I have to cut
Jordan,
it out.
Do you do the audio?
Yes, I do the audio. We can't do this to me today. I'm in a glass case of emotion. All right, I am so mad, and I'm trying to be good for us.
Due to the occasion, not only are we at episode 15, last week we got some numbers late. And we have actually reached over 1,000 listens.
It was before last week. I was slacking on the number transfers. So thank you to everyone who's hit that button so far.
Episode 15 is one thing. Did you ever think 1,000 people would listen to us over a 15-week
Well,
span?
it's just, I think it's like 20 different people listen to us 10, 15 times.
I love my dad.
The math checks out.
The fact there's 20 people that keep coming back.
Yeah.
No,
but
I guarantee you a lot of our close family.
I was thinking about this all day because I was just so emotional about it. I actually wrote...
Were you busy today or something? Or?
I went to the dog park and I came home, took a nap.
Oh, good.
So I actually wrote out a little something for the listeners.
This is going to be great. I'm going to get a Timbit.
Oh, you wrote something,
Yeah, I wrote something. I actually wrote on a piece of paper.
I didn't know you were...
Yeah,
I didn't know you were actually...
Yeah, I actually... So
you wrote it down?
I'm going to need a moment. So,
right.
don't want to get emotional. To our listeners, thank you. Everyone.
That took you all
Why
day?
are you folding? Was that it?
Yeah, what more do you want from me?
This will be the last episode.
Yeah,
Bros, Beers.
Just do the intro, I guess.
Yeah, so here we are. Episode 15, Bros, Bumps, and Beers. I am the EST of Triple B, Pat Gagne. Staring at me with a blank stare. Can't believe I wrote that on a piece of paper. Matt Tooties Gagne.
That was actually really good.
And, of course, the guy who I do the audio, Jordan the Guava God Schofield. All right, boys. Cheers.
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 Cheers to 15.
Maybe
Cheers to 15.
Maybe we just make slurping sounds instead of opening the...
No, we don't do that anymore because we all drink from a glass now like big boys.
Yeah.
Did that come through, listeners?
Do not whisper into the mic.
This is ASMR.
No. Oh, and just for the record out there, Jordan still has a mustache.
Yeah, that's
He
nice.
went an entire week with a
I
mustache.
do.
I feel like
but
that's...
it will actually be gone soon because I found out our wedding photos got rescheduled to like very soon.
Wedding?
So...
You mean engagement?
Is it engagement? Isn't it a wedding? Oh, it is an engagement.
Yeah,
photo.
your wedding pictures are usually at your wedding.
Listen, someone with the camera is gonna make me pose.
Kiss your fiance a lot, which gets
Oh
super
man, okay, you know what?
annoying.
I had a very nice experience getting my engagement pictures.
I don't think it'll be annoying at all, Matt.
Jordan.
My wife doesn't listen. I can tell you it's annoying.
So I did it. I did it a few months ago, and it wasn't bad. But the worst part was we were in the winter, and like he's like, "Okay, take off your coats." I'm like, "It's cold out, bro."
Pardon me, sir.
It's cold out, bro.
This is Winnipeg. It's -30 out.
And then the best. Oh, are you gonna have your dogs in the dog in the pictures?
What is it, a blur? Oh, you meant okay, because I can't imagine Fenway sitting still.
She did, absolutely. And it was a nightmare.
One, no. And two, if one of you suggests to Ree that our dog...
Hey, Ree, you listen to this every week.
No, she doesn't. No, I told her we're not
I will
having
text
an
her.
episode this week.
I'm going to text her.
I don't want to deal with that.
Ree, listen to the episode 15. You should put Mr. Floof in the
Mr. Floof!
Mr. Floof!
Is that his legal name? And
no, it's sadly Herschel. But I really look back. He's had numerous different names over his young and wondrous life so far. He started off as Herschel Bro. I don't know why. I think that was the Matt Riddle like big time days. So I just put bro on everything, and then I would sing the Spider Pig song from the Simpsons movie, but switch it. It'd be like Herschel Bro, Herschel Bro. So that's what I did. But yeah, great transition.
But I think we really need to have a group discussion if you're gonna shave off your mustache. I feel like that's a podcast discussion.
I feel like it's just like I usually leave like life decisions. It's like what you guys want and then what reruns wants. So we'll just have to talk it out between the
yeah, we'll do like maybe a bonus episode of us just talking about if you're going to cut off the mustache or not.
It's just it'll just end with 20 seconds of razor noises.
Hey Matt, what do you think? You're on your phone.
Get off your phone!
I'm managing my hockey team right now.
Oh my! You know what? At least you weren't playing Boom Beach.
I don't play Boom Beach.
Or was it Clash of Clans?
I play Clash Royale like a real adult.
If you're on your phone, go on Instagram and look at Jordan's sister's Instagram story. She hits a golf ball better than Jordan, and she's only done it once.
Oh, I just saw the one of her in a bathing suit in a pool.
Okay, we're 7 minutes in, and we have not talked about what we planned yet. All right? This is becoming personally attacking. Okay? And
then shut up. Then I'll do it right now. Transition. Hey, Matt, we go back to work this week. How upset are you?
You shut up.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to adjust to putting a shirt on before noon.
I hope you guys have a shitty school year.
Hey, Jordan, working people are talking, not stay-at-home bitches.
Wow. I'm going to have to get used to not cracking a beer at 3:30.
Your Untapped does pop off in the early afternoon.
Did you guys see I hit 100 beers this week?
No.
Get on my level.
Oh, I thought it was a joyous occasion.
I'm at 2:30.
Yeah, well, you guys...
I'm about to crack 2.
Well, you guys got problems, man. Big problems.
You have a fridge full of beer. Start drinking.
I'm not thirsty all the time.
I have 198 problems, and the other 2 are that I don't have 200 beers yet on Untapped.
Wow, we should cut that out later.
No, that was good. I like that.
Thank you.
But no, like, it's going to be an adjustment period. I'm planning on being tired, but I don't know.
And, the thing about going back to work for me is, like, I lived my life like a gym teacher for 6 months. Like, woke up, put sweats on and a hoodie, and that was it. That was my day.
I don't know if I should be offended by that.
I got nothing.
It was glorious, man. Tomorrow, I envy you fully that you get to wake up, put on some sweats, and go to work.
No, watching you guys argue about this is like watching like 2 kids with like noodles hit each other. Because
we used to do that.
Yeah, because I'm over here with like the real big person job. But you two are super cute talking.
You know, Jordan, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've known you. How many years have we known each other?
Too many.
I still have no goddamn idea what you do for a living.
He sells books?
That's the point.
Do you sell books?
You'll never know. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a man.
No, you're not.
I'm a man of action.
You're in sales.
When we met you, you sold Coke. Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Well, no, I sold.
I like that. I
sold the bumps part of this podcast.
Oh.
Yeah. As we've gotten asked about before. Wow, you guys do a podcast about beer, cocaine? And I was like,
I've had to explain what the bumps part is a couple times.
Yeah, I think the first time that happened to Pat texted us all, and he's like, "Yeah, we may have a problem with the name. Yeah, we might have to talk about changing it."
Oh, we also have a problem with Kyle. Shout out Kyle. Oh, is your podcast name Bros, Bashes, and Bros? I was like, what are you talking about? That's even close. Yeah. Like, at least try.
The words are quite simple to remember. Now, the fact that bumps may or may not have dual meaning is not my fault.
The only reason you don't know what a bump means in this context is because you're a bitch ass Mark.
Wow. And then they're all going to, why'd you call me Mark?
Yeah, some guy named Mark's like, what the hell, man? We haven't even
Everyone who only listens to the first chunk of this show is like, what are they talking about?
Why? Who's Mark, man? They really don't like Mark.
Well, listen, like, I understand what to get back to the teacher thing, I know you guys have a plan put in place in the province that's well-oiled. I'm sure you both know exactly what you're going to be doing as far as like COVID testing and making sure you're all safe. I'm sure the kids are going to follow the rules to a T. So I just hope that you two have the smooth year you're probably banking on. So best of luck.
What's that now?
Don't you guys have stable plans for what's happening?
Matt's just upset that he can't play tag this year. Like tag's a big
Yeah,
no-no.
they told me I couldn't play tag.
You couldn't play tag? Well, what sports can you like?
Yeah, like it's all foot sports, right?
Well, that's what we're starting with.
Well, that's a lot of soccer. What else? Okay, soccer and what?
Fitness?
Like jogging? Oh, there's
Yeah.
some
Jordan,
fat
it's pronounced.
kids who are going to be upset about
It's
this.
pronounced jogging.
Jogging. Oh, how many beep tests are we going to do?
Oh.
Let's put some acid
I've
right in the jackpot.
already decided, though, that I am going to spend the majority of my free time at work going and just watching the kindergarten classes and watching the kindergarten teachers try to socially distance a bunch of 5-year-olds.
Oh, God. You know what?
Because that's going to go well.
You know, it was the worst
You're
because
like an insane asylum.
that's an impossible task. Because I saw like at our staff meetings, teachers are having trouble with social distancing because you all want to high five each other and talk close. Like, oh, back up, bro. Can't talk to you real close.
You should try. You can play dodgeball, but make it like soccer dodgeball, so you can only kick the ball.
Oh, that's definitely on the list
Is that
of
on
things
the
to
list?
do.
I was trying to think of like other foot
Jordan,
sports.
you're an innovator.
Listen, I'm just here to help the kids stay fit, especially Tubby Tommy, who's gonna die on the beep test.
Speaking of fit, I went to Mike Gagne's house on Friday.
Oh, jacked.
You know what?
Thanks for sending that picture and not inviting us.
By the way, his freezer jacket, he loves that jacket.
It's a work jacket. It's nice.
Yeah, you got it for free.
That's an
Now,
awesome.
Matt,
I like that.
you went there on Sunday, correct? Yes.
Correct.
Oh wow. Why didn't I get to go?
Because no one likes you. So yeah, have you realized?
That's a lie. I like you.
Have you realized over the years, going back to mom and dad's house, did we ruin their lives?
Yeah. We did.
Yeah, because like, did you notice going there? I opened the fridge. I opened the fridge upstairs to put my 2 beers in there, and I opened it. I'm like, oh, there's no room in the fridge. It's like this is full, like to the brim, full. And then I went to the bathroom and took a pee, and as I'm peeing, I'm like, this bathroom doesn't smell like shit. It's like super clean. And then I go outside, and it's like everything's really well set up. They have money to buy stuff now.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And also...
Did we make them spend a lot of money and not really give them anything in return?
Joy.
I
Joy?
can confirm.
That's quantifiable.
Yeah.
And like the basement, Matt.
It's the joyometer.
And Matt,
Yeah.
the basement didn't smell like piss.
That's because nobody's peed on the carpet.
Shout out Andy.
No, shut up, Matt. Shut up, Matt.
Oh, shout out Matt.
Yeah. I can confirm that although I do love my children, they
Shout out Easton. Shout out Blake.
do have a tendency to I don't know how to put this and not sound like a terrible father, so I'm just going to stop.
Okay.
I think that's okay. I think that's fair. I think it's becoming more socially acceptable to say the thing that everyone has been saying for a long time. Kids ruin your life.
Well, you know what it is?
They change your life in a way that is inexplicable.
I think they make it better and worse at the exact same time.
Exactly.
I think the one example
There's no
I can
middle
think
ground.
of is like when we were growing up, it was Safeway Select Cola.
Oh, so
And then
good.
and then now it's
Dr. Skipper.
yeah, and now it's like you get like real Coca-Cola and like real Dr. Pepper, which
And my dad used to make crappy homebrew, and now he's always got Budweiser in the fridge.
like always has Budweiser.
endless amounts of Budweiser.
Yeah, I don't think I ruined my parents' life much at all.
Oh,
No, let me roll this back. Apparently, I was a good kid. A pretty shitty you know what? I'd actually say now, like right now, is probably the most difficult I've been in their entire life. But
Really?
that's because my particularness has definitely
oh,
grown.
Jordan, you're not particular. Don't do that.
It was like through high school, like I was a pretty good kid. Like I didn't want to like go out and do anything. Like people would be going to dances and they'd want me to come with them, and I would have my mom tell them I can't go, but that's really because I didn't want to go. You know.
Oh, I loved going to dances and actually dancing.
Yeah.
And
see,
Matt was a big dancer. Matt was a
I'm
big
a
dancer.
big dancer.
where I grew up, we did a lot of dancing that seemed to be of sexual nature. So a lot of grinding.
Yeah,
And-
I still do that with
and
dudes.
as a tubby white kid,
You were Tubby?
Tubby?
oh yeah, it
We're
wasn't
gonna need
really
pictures
up
of this.
my alley. You know, it was just like, hey, like Jordan, you should come, and I was like, you know what, I could, but I could play Sookrams till 2 in the morning. And boy, does that sound fun. My clan needs me. We have a clan match, you know, and I just wanted to throw.
Oh, yeah, you're young enough that you could play online as a kid.
Jordan really doesn't know video games without online.
Listen, Jordan didn't hit a glow up till like start of grade 12. Like it was It was not. So I don't know what we're going down a rabbit hole. But the point is like when you're that kid, you're not really rebelling. Like my parents were like, "Why don't you go to the dance?" And
I mean, to be fair, we didn't rebel. Matt is still afraid of our 4'6" mother.
Yeah. Oh, of course. If you're not afraid of your mom, then I don't like.
I would when I was like 21, 22, I did some stuff that was like, borderline breaking the law a little bit. And like I did it and I was like, wow. I was like, I don't know if we should do this, guys. Like, what, are you afraid of the cops? No. I'm not afraid of I'm afraid of hell and God. It's like, really, your little mom?
Okay, hold on. I just thought of something. Okay. I'll tell you a little story. We can cut this if you don't like it. I don't fucking care. So as you know, I'm a very intense person. So when I was a kid, I just struck out for the 3rd time in the game.
Sounds about right.
Which means, like, we're reaching, like, biblical levels of frustration. And my parents are from, Jamaica. So my dad, like, they didn't grow up with baseball.
Wait, they're from Jamaica?
They're from Jamaica.
This is new information.
So they didn't grow up with baseball. So my dad was, like, a rugby player. My mom, I think she just, like, watched sports from a distance.
And bobsledders, right?
Really
They were bobsledders?
Yeah, great documentary. Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings, man!
I forgot the song. I was about to do the
Feel the rhythm.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhythm. Okay, so the
Get it up! It's bobsled time!
Flipping the audio. So I strike out for the 3rd time, and for some reason, my mom decides that she's gonna give me pointers on baseball.
Sweet.
And I think she got one sentence in, and I turned around and went, "Oh, you fucking leave me alone."
Oh, that's not smart. You don't do that.
Now,
the fact that you're sitting here,
that was the biggest I looked at her and her face went like silent, like just deadpan. And then her head tilted a bit. And she just went, "Bill!"
Whenever they say your dad's name, instead of giving you shit, you know you're in trouble.
And then it just went, "Did you hear that?" And he goes, "No." And she goes, "Okay, I'll tell you about it in the car." Walked up, by the ear, and now it wasn't like the car was close. It was by the ear for at least 250 meters down the entire walkway.
In front of your friends.
They, dragged me in the car, went back to get my stuff. I hadn't even taken my stuff yet. That is a good microcosm. That's like the worst thing I've ever really done in my life because there's just nothing scarier than that.
Now,
nothing scarier on the planet.
I don't want to take too long, but I'll help. I'll build on that.
Yes.
My favorite Matt and Helen going at it story. So Matt was going through a rough patch in his first university. Matt was doing too much. Matt classic doing too much, and they got into an argument.
This is true.
And I was sitting on the couch, and of course I don't leave the room because I think it's hilarious when Matts get yelled at. And he said, I don't even remember what you said to her, and then she didn't say a word because he was like over top for kind of like berating her from above. So Helen walks away from him. I'm like, "Oh man, that's shitty. It's just over." She goes and grabs a chair. Puts the chair in front of Matt, stands on the chair, and yells at him, eye to eye.
Awesome.
Terrifying.
So much respect for that.
Terrifying.
So much respect.
And I'm just watching like, is he gonna be okay?
Was there a moment where you guys
That was the day university became easy.
Oh, I get because the other moment I think of when I think of like that moment with my parents, it's also the day that I think they realized they couldn't like I had officially grown up, because I remember there was a day like because again my parents were like down with the spanking train, okay, and there was a day where my mom
so much being
so much trauma right now.
There was a day where my mom couldn't catch me anymore to spank me, and her heart broke. I watched her like
die inside.
A little piece of her, like she was like, "Get over here," and I just outran her. Like I was just laughing, and I was just running around, and I was also realizing actively that like I was free, like this wasn't gonna happen to me anymore. And she just looked at me, and just started crying, and then just walked away. And I said, as she was leaving, I'm like, no, you can spank me. Come back. It's fine.
On that note, a couple some great stories. Matt, let's talk about Spear. Matt, what you got for us this week?
Okay, so...
sorry, I know that took a turn.
No.
I really enjoyed all of that.
Yeah, that was a lot of... There was some
Again,
stuff came up.
I feel like we say this every week, but if nobody enjoys that, I don't care. That was fantastic.
I had a great time with
it.
This
might be the first week my parents like, listen, and don't just hit the button for us.
Well, okay. So you guys body bagged this beer.
He's just so upset.
You guys body bagged him.
So depressing.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to be there. Superhero flying in to save the day.
White knight for them.
And then I tried it. So I'm doing the Space Bounty from Sookrams.
Do you want me to just unzip the body bag?
I'm not going to body bag them. So it's an IPA. It's a coconut IPA. And Jordan's getting another Timbit.
Stop calling out every time I'm getting a Timbit. It's a depressed Timbit.
So this beer claims to have subtle addition of toasted coconut. And I will say it is subtle.
Emphasis on the word subtle.
Yeah.
I've had some coconut beers. There's not much coconut in this. To be fair, it's hoppy, it's tropical, it's a good IPA.
If it just was an IPA and they didn't say anything about coconut, I think my rating would have been higher.
I agree.
Yeah, I would not disagree. Like, everything Sookrams does, for the most part, I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of this IPA. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I drank it and was like, where's the coconut? I can't get over that.
Yeah.
And it's bothering me a little bit because I want it to be good because I love Sookrams.
Yeah.
I don't. Their Desert Island is a good IPA.
It's so good.
MacGuffin is one of my 5 favorite beers right now.
Wow. Okay.
I love MacGuffin. Every time
Big praise.
we talk about grow on me beers, MacGuffin is the ultimate grow on me beer for me. Like, this is just it's okay.
Yeah. And isn't that the most disappointing thing ever to say about a Sookrams beer? It's just okay.
I feel like I'm spanking my child.
And like Jordan hated that sour pack, but like you would have the sour and it's still a good sour, right?
Moving on.
Okay, that didn't go the way I thought it would.
I'm going to give this a rating. You can follow me on Untappd at GagneMatt. And
it's cool. It's good. It's good on tap, man.
Yeah.
Just waiting. Waiting.
No,
okay.
No,
so I'm going to give
stalling?
Like,
because I'm just waiting for you
Hurry
guys.
up.
Come on.
I'm going to give it on Untappd. I hate you guys so much. A 3.25. So I know Jordan and Pat both gave it under 3. Like I said, this is a good IPA. I am an IPA fan. This isn't going to blow your socks off as far as IPA goes. If you want a good Sookrams IPA, go get Desert Island. That is fantastic. Yeah, it's okay.
I really think Sookrams has become the hit or miss, a true hit or miss. Like, either they nail it or it's a strikeout. And they're better than most because they nail some. But they just don't have the consistency of a Kilter or a non-such at this point.
Sookrams is a 400 hitter.
But that's a really good baseball hitter.
Yeah. They're a really good baseball hitter.
Actually, that's like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's like above.
Sookrams is a Hall
That's
of
better
Famer.
than Gwen.
Oh, I think they're really good. Okay, anyways, Jordan, you go out. You're up next.
Kilter is next rolled.
You know, I've had this bad habit of finishing the beer that I'm drinking before we get to me, so maybe I just need to start going first, and we can just lead off with like the real talent of this podcast. Pat,
Cool.
Is this the county or the country sour?
It's the country county sour.
Oh, okay. The county sour. This is a dry hopped passion fruit sour.
From Canada
From
Brewery.
TCB. Thank you.
I've only been doing this for 15 episodes. But...
So, you know what, guys?
Just keep going.
Stop making fun of me, okay?
Bullying me. Fun of you.
Stop bullying me.
Just review the
It's
beer.
better than the guava,
Wow.
Whoa.
which is a big deal. But again, it's not as good as the melon. And I just don't know if we're ever going to get back to the melon. I actually can't think of anything else to say about it that we haven't said about TCB sours already. Like
It's one of their generic kind of...
I'm trying to say words.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
What was your second favorite sour from them?
Prickly pear.
Okay, I was going to say, that one was different.
Yeah, actually, you know what was interesting? I was talking to, I, for some reason the other night, went out to, a place. I think, my fiance was out of town, and I just decided that I was going to go, act like I was a part of the nightlife scene for a second. So I went to Cafe 22, and, I went
I don't even know what that is.
Like alone?
No, I went with my sister and her cousin. It was kind of a family thing, but they ran into other people.
It's just your sister's cousin?
Oh shit! Yeah, I guess it's sister and Mike. Anyway, so I'm trying to say, Pat's always the one who's like, we need to stop cutting each other off, and then Captain cut each other off over here is just cutting us off every goddamn 10 seconds. But I think I was struggling to find something new to say about TCB, so I'm just gonna say this: I sit down and 3 of their friends also happen to know them. Sit down, and I'm drinking. I ordered a 66, right? A Barnhammer 66, and
the guava 66.
Oh Christ. Continue.
Anyways, this is just the group, just like a group of girls you'd think would drink like cranberry vodkas. And I'm ordering this craft beer, and she goes, "Oh, I really like the sours from Barnhammer." And I'm like, "Yeah, what do you mean?" And she's like, "Yeah, this past year, the sours and the goses." And I was like, "Goses?" She's like, "Oh yeah, goses." They've just really come a long way. And so then we go down this rabbit hole of a conversation I never thought I'd have about beer with someone who said I always hated beer until I tried some sours. And I said, "Well, what did you try?" And she goes, "Oh, I had the TCB, Trans Canada ones." And she just goes and names every single one that's come out this year. And she's like, "I honestly would never have gotten into beer or drinking any type of beer if not for the sours that TCB put out."
And I think that
is how I'm going to describe these beers, because I can't think of. I've said it all before. I feel like you could take the one of the other sour ones and swap it in because the notes it. But I think that's a big.
They bridge the gap between non-beer drinkers and beer drinkers.
And she even said "Oh, I thought the melon was awesome." She named our top 5 pretty much runner. She did the blueberry ale though, Pat. So I'm sorry.
Sure, her opinion doesn't matter then.
Yes. So
everybody can be wrong once in a while.
I gave this 3.5. Right, good. Not the melon, but quite delicious.
Are you on Untapped?
Yes, at JSCO 55.
Christ, 50
episodes.
It's been a rough day, Pat. Take it away.
Review your beer.
So I have the honor of, since this podcast has started, Vessel has started up, and we've done every Vessel beer on this show. So I don't
think we've done Murky Buckets. I think we've drank it on the show, but I don't think
I drank it, last week.
Have we not done Murky?
I don't think
I drank it, but I didn't review it on the show.
Oh, fuck me too.
So I have the Moscow Mule by Vessel, with the can. The art is by Ron Ritson, which is the can, again.
Home run
with the can, man. It's super cool. It is a sour ginger beer cocktail inspired series, so like a Moscow Mule, obviously, right on the nose there. On the can it says that it's a strong beer and that you're supposed to keep it cold, so that's pretty much all I got for you. It's
I had a beer the other day that on the can it said roll before opening. Yeah. I'd never seen that in my life.
Because there's sediment in it.
Oh, that was that really good guava one from Collective Arts.
Yeah, they have the Collective Arts ones all say, most of the fruit ones.
How are you supposed to read that note?
Can I continue?
Sucks getting cut off all the time, doesn't it, Pat?
Yeah, a little bit. So it's a 5.8 alcohol. You know what? It's supposed to taste like a Moscow Mule. You taste it; it tastes like a Moscow Mule. I think Jordan had some on Saturday when we were over here for All Out.
There's ginger beer in it, which means I went straight for it.
Yeah, and Jordan. It took Jordan probably 2 or 3 to kind of come around to it and be like, "Yeah, I like this." For me, right away, home run. I love Moscow Mule, so I'm all in on it.
I've never had a Moscow Mule, so if that's what they taste like, I could probably order a couple.
They're really good. I was ordering them after Slow Pitch there for a couple weeks. They're super good. On Untapped, you can follow me at Pat Gagne. Very simply, Vessel, another great beer. I'm going to give it a 3.75. Not quite a 4, but you know what?
That's fair.
See, that's what happens when you have to start scaling down, because you had the meringue. Mm-hmm. And now, that's the thing. You start lining everything up, right?
Yeah. Is it close to the meringue? No, I think meringue's above and beyond their best beer they've come out with.
Meringue is 5 best beers I had this summer.
It's really good.
One of the 5 best.
So I think that all that leaves us with is the Winnipeg beer news of the week.
Pat, because you brought it up, could I mention something else I had Saturday night?
Sure.
Our buddy James had me try Secret Promise,
which is the cringiest name for a beer I've ever heard.
I'm still processing what I drank. It was
I haven't bought that one yet.
It was the oddest thing.
I have Secret Weapon in my fridge, but I don't have Secret Promise.
Yeah, so Secret Promise, I just gotta say, just give it a run. Like, it's one of those beers where you just sip it, and, like, I think the whole can, I'd sip it and do the, like, inquisitive look, and then I'd sip it again and do the inquisitive look. Like, what an interesting beer that was, but I thought that deserved a shout-out just because of everything that happened this week. Thank you, Pat. So this week, we have one main piece of news.
Very excited for this.
And it's the Summer of Sours. The Summer of Sours is going to be from the folks at No Free Ads.
You can say it.
No free ads.
You can say it.
Middle tap.
Middle tap. They do great work.
We are going to have no advertising dollars at the end of this. Tim Hortons owes us. Okay, so basically at the beer can, we're just going to have, on September 12th, a big day of sours. So Pat's going to guest host, being the sourest person in the city. And we're going to have beers from Torque, Nonsuch, Vessel, Kilter, Sookrams, Lowlife, and Trans Canada. But the key here is there's going to be a few new small batch beers.
Beg pardon?
A few new small batch sours, right? Pat's phone just fell in absolute... Is your background our logo?
Well, yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. That's awesome. So on September 12th, if you're not doing anything, you should go. If you're doing something, tell those people to shove it so you can go.
Nobody should go so we can get in.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No one go till after we get there. But listen, I think we just talked about how sours have I think this, again, goes to show, like, sours have bridged a bit of a gap in the beer community between beer drinkers or steady beer drinkers and non-drinkers. And I think what you're going to see is just a pretty lively day that day. So knock on wood, the weather's solid. Pat, back to you at the main desk.
Thank you for that amazing piece of journalism, Jordan. Yeah. That was a relatively lively first segment after take two. So when we come back, we are gonna review a couple keynotes with NXT, but our big piece is AEW Woof All Out. We'll get to that after the break.
Oh, Michael, this is gonna be fun to watch.
And we are back.
Back again!
Episode 15. Matt?
That was a pumpkin spice something or other. Timbit.
It's that time of year.
Matt, where did you get a cute little number? I want names.
I went to the Sage Creek LC and they had 4 Brewers packs left. So I spent $30 to get one beer.
I respect the shit out of that.
One great city, like if you don't appreciate that and find some way to get us a bunch of cans, come on.
I will literally pay for all of them.
Mm-mm. Just make a brewer's pack that's 12 cute little numbers, and then put something on it like a homing beacon.
Yeah.
That we can use to get it.
Yeah.
Right?
I would even split it with you guys.
I would take
brain 4
thinking.
each.
Yeah. No, I think Matt's had extra, so maybe you and I get 5 and he gets 2.
That's fair.
Whoa, no.
Yeah, because you had more.
Fair.
I
just spent $30 for one beer.
All right, well, that's you're stupid.
Okay, there's other good beers. Oh God, it's so good.
So good. It's unbelievable.
So anyways, little wrestling roundup for you. We are going to be very AEW centric, but I think what we're going to start with is the NXT. We're going to touch on that because they had their 4-way Iron Man match.
1 hour Iron Man match. Great concept.
Great concept. Piss poor execution on their part.
Cluster.
We're going to be very bitter Betties this roundup.
Yeah, this isn't going to be
This is going to be bad. It's going to be about 2/3 bitter Betty. The last third we're going to get.
Yeah, that'll probably be good.
Now
it's just as good the second time, guys.
Shut up!
Jesus Christ!
They put the 4. I would say after Karrion Kross is out, the 4 best NXT talents on the roster in a match.
Except for Rhea Ripley, yes.
Yes, but she can't be in that match, sadly.
Maybe
one day. Maybe one day.
She could be. You can't pigeonhole her because she's a
whoa.
Equality.
Anyways, so they had their match. It was a good match. Each guy got a fall like we said they would.
Didn't see that coming.
And then someone explain the ending. I can't even handle this shit right now.
I don't want to explain the ending.
I'll explain it. Ratings. Because it's a good way to get people to tune in again. We're pretty much doing it all over again.
To be continued.
Yeah. So Adam
cliffhanger.
Cole and Finn Balor.
Yes.
Balor.
The Prince
David are going to have a match this coming week. And
is it just a regular match?
I don't know.
Just a regular match, Jordan?
As far as I know, they didn't put any steps on it.
Oh, that sounds super exciting.
How are Gargano and Ciampa going to run in and ruin this?
No.
Are you telling me that all of that was just for them to lose and disappear into the night?
Here's what I read on the interweb.
Oh, on the interweb?
That there were 2 possible finishes for this match that happened last Wednesday.
Okay.
Finish 1 was what happened. Mm-hmm. Or did it happen on Tuesday? It happened on Tuesday.
Super Tuesday.
Finish 1 was Cole, Balor, tie, and then blah, blah, blah. They're going to wrestle. The other one, which I think they may still use this coming week, was Pat McAfee runs in, costs Adam Cole the last fall, and Finn Balor wins. So that was the alternate finish that I read on the internet.
Okay, so do you think it was maybe McAfee couldn't get there, or there was a scheduling conflict?
There might be a scheduling conflict.
That would make sense.
Might do that this week.
I could see that. I would. Like I said, I would pay to see Cole against McAfee again. I would, in a steel cage.
Oh, Pat.
Yes.
What's up, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about?
You know what? So here's something to
McAfee jumping off the top of the cage.
Well, here's something to throw at you guys. Like, if you're Ciampa and Gargano, like, Adam Cole has chess moved this perfectly. Because I don't know if, Cole thought McAfee was going to be a big deal. But, like, Cole's almost, like, chess moved his way. And so that if they want to keep using McAfee, they have to use Cole.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, if I was Ciampa and Gargano, I'd be like, shit. The second McAfee's like, I'd like to do more. You're pretty much like, well, back to the mid-card with me, like.
That's a smart move by Cole.
I think for Ciampa, though, Ciampa would have been...
I thought he looked... I thought he looked like a killer.
But I think Ciampa would have probably been Karrion Kross's first challenger. Hey, you beat me once, you embarrassed me, but I was champ too, I never got my rematch. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, all in all, I think it was just...
We got the raw end of the deal there.
It was ratings, and
How about them maybe moving off of Wednesday night?
They have to.
I agree entirely.
What's the point? What's the point of going head-to-head with another company?
The point is that the point of doing that is that I think what they're doing with NXT is they're kind of like a bulletproof vest for Raw and SmackDown. So if you split the viewership, right, or if people decide to, right, so what you're now doing is you're making it look like a weaker brand compared to the other two.
Right, I guess so. That makes sense.
That's the thing, is like, it'll be interesting if they move NXT to Tuesday nights. Oh, good open. It's good to have one of those. So if you have NXT on Tuesday nights now, it'll be interesting to see if AEW balloons or not.
I mean, NXT was getting almost 100,000 more viewers when it was unopposed or on Tuesdays.
Right.
So I think they can hit 1 million viewers without NXT coming up against them.
Because the one,
AEW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
probably.
what was, sorry, you were saying NXT was hitting 100,000 more?
Yeah.
See, because
NXT was hitting about 800,000.
I almost wonder if the USA Network actually went to WWE and was like, listen, like, we appreciate what you're trying to do, but we paid for NXT.
Yeah.
So we need the views. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's just one of those things where, I think WWE can spin this so many different ways. They're outdrawing on SmackDown, they're outdrawing on Raw, and you could easily say, like, NXT is close despite being a C show, right?
Yeah.
So, a quote-unquote C show.
Yeah.
So, AEW's, like, barely getting there, but it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward.
Speaking of AEW.
Okay, so spoiler alert. I think I'm trying to pick my words right here. Half of this all-out pay-per-view, I can comfortably and with confidence say, was the worst piece of AEW booking and workmanship in their short history.
Agreed. I would almost argue in the history of, like, a lot of the people wrestling, like, it was some of their worst shit.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get right into it. They started off the show with, I guess they called it a cinematic match, whatever the hell it was. It was stupid.
Why did they start with a cinematic match?
Why did they even put this match on the card? It should be on the buy-in. You know what? Look, I'm going to start off.
Many things wrong
I'm going to start
with
off
this
hot. I'm going to start off hot right away. This was the first time, and I don't know how many years, I paid for a wrestling pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. I paid $50 for this pay-per-view.
I mean, you pay for all of them because you have the network.
Yeah, but it's not the same. I feel like this is a one-shot deal.
It's a different feeling transaction.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling
Like, I'm
transaction.
paying to watch
As someone who buys UFCs on a regular basis, I cringe a little bit every time.
And UFCs, you don't know how long they're going to be.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Big Swole against Britt Baker with Rebel in a tooth and nail match, which is basically just Big Swole showing up at Britt Baker's dentist office and having a match in there. First off, Rebel. First off, didn't you know that was her name?
That's her name?
I thought it was Rebby. I thought it was the
Rebby.
same as...
Whatever her name is. I heard Rebel.
Oh, okay.
So
I think it's Rebby.
whoever is teaching this person how to work needs to be fired. She is awful. I don't know if she's trying to be comedic. She is not funny. She's just bad. None of it is funny at all. And she doesn't add anything. She just takes everything away from what they're trying to do. She's not good.
Swole is really bad. Really bad.
Big Swole, and then you go on to the next thing. I'm sorry, I'm just going to body bag this whole match.
Yeah,
I literally have nothing
horrendous.
to say about this match.
It was horrendous.
Big
don't
Swole, to me, is doing two things. She's pretending to be tough, and I'm not buying it, and she's pretending to be a wrestler. There's a difference between being a wrestler and playing wrestler, and she's playing wrestler.
I'm concerned for Britt Baker long term. Like I think like she doesn't have the right. She almost needs to go against Brandy. Like we need we need bigs. Like there's
this
not
whole,
enough
this whole
big
match.
swingers.
There's only so much Britt Baker can do. Britt Baker is one of the best talents in the female division.
Yeah.
But she's not about to go with Shirai. No, not Shirai.
Sheeta.
And have
Sure, I would be sick with it. So.
Shirai versus Sheeta.
Yeah,
that'd be
sweet.
sick.
My brain just went like.
But
ooh.
she's not about to go have this like really, really good match with Sheeta.
No.
And I think that kind of.
But
pigeonholes her.
has she given the opportunity? Like I feel like she's
I think she
kind of
could have
gone.
a good match.
I think she's gone a little more slapstick than she needs to. Like she's been a little more
And she's
gimmick.
funny. She's legitimately funny.
Yeah.
I love Britt
She's
Baker.
entertaining as
Yeah.
all heck.
Like can't she look at someone like Chris Jericho and see how you can be funny, entertaining, and put on
Well,
great matches?
I really, in my head, I really hope it's Britt Baker. They came up
That's
with
high praise, by
with
the
the
way.
role model gimmick because she's in a
Yeah,
wheelchair. I thought that
that-
was
I
hilarious.
thought it was
That's
funny.
great.
Yeah.
Like the match is awful. Like if I was
I can't
rating
believe we
it,
spent this much time.
if I
on
was
it.
rating it,
cringed.
I wouldn't even give it. I would be below 0.
I cringed. Most of my cringing was at Big Swole. Her sticking herself with the needle
was weird.
was weird. Yeah. I'd
The
be happy to
Novocaine
move on.
finish,
I-
or
happy to
the
move on.
anesthetic finish. I
Anyways,
didn't like
moving on. The next match was we were kind of excited for it. We thought it could be up and up. It was the Young Sucks against Jurassic Express. This match proved one thing for me with the Young Sucks. They cannot work with anybody. Like, they can work with people, but they can't work with anybody you put in front of them.
Pat, can I make a statement?
Yes.
I'm officially on the Young Sucks bandwagon.
Thank
I've
you.
moved.
It took you long enough.
This was like watching someone cut together a really shitty YouTube video. It was like
Not like the masterful piece of editing I did on.
Start the spot, cut the spot, start the next spot, cut the spot. It was horrible. There was no flow.
Yeah.
It was flippy shit for the sake of flippy shit. And I am actually like really up to the wits end with the Young Bucks. Like I feel like they just do the same shit over and over.
I've been telling you that since the beginning.
Flippy shit doesn't entertain people anymore if all they do is flippy shit.
Yeah,
it has to be used sparingly. It has to be special.
I'm going to say two things. Number one, they're trying to make a transition with the Young Sucks. And I get it. Like they came out on Wednesday. They didn't do the double bicep pose and stuff like that. Whatever. Like it's very subtle, and wrestling can't be subtle. Don't be subtle.
No.
For the sake of being subtle. If you want to be subtle within a story, but people aren't getting it unless they're told about it.
Right.
Unless they're really, really into the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nuance gets lost on the casual
Yes.
wrestling.
And
Exactly.
it just
And number two.
Oh, sorry. You two. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Number
Get-
two,
Get into it.
Jungle Boy, Jack Perry.
Yeah, Jack Perry. Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
They better be building towards something big for this guy, because the way he's being treated right now, I think he'd get lost in the shuffle in WWE.
That gimmick doesn't help, man. Like
Yeah,
you're
he's
fucking
gotta get
Tarzan.
away.
Okay, but
dude.
like I
Come
said
on.
Yeah,
with Jack Perry,
the transition and
he
all that.
transitioned him out. He becomes he's Jungle Boy right now, then he's Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and then he's Jack Perry. That's what you can work your way up to, and he has that ability to do that. But
Maybe he loses the mutton chops and
Yeah.
like some stuff. Okay.
every match he's in, he's the star. He
Yeah.
was the star of this match.
You know, he reminds me a little bit of just the way he bumps around and his offense and all that. Reminds me of like a young Shawn Michaels.
I
a little
knew
bit.
he was gonna say that.
He does. though.
I don't disagree.
He bumps super well. He sells like crazy, but his offense is super believable for a smaller quote unquote guy.
It fits his profile.
Yeah, like, I don't think that's an unfair.
I think what this match did was expose 3 people: the Young Sucks for not being able to work with everybody, and Luchasaurus was super exposed. He does his shtick, does his kicks that are horrible, and it just I'm really souring towards him because there's nothing there for me.
He's a bodyguard.
Yeah. He's a Wardlow.
I think Wardlow's
I'm actually going to give Wardlow a little more credit.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's I think that's more the MJF rub. Like
maybe.
So I think that was.
I didn't like that match either.
I think this was no, I did, like, seriously.
Point blank. Like Pat and I did not like.
Yeah,
we
like Matt was watching it. Matt was
it.
watching at home, and Jordan was here with me and our friend James. Shout out James. And we were sitting there, and we all kind of looked at each other after the second one. I was like, "Wow, that was bad too. That's not good." And then it came out.
I think we were surprised by that one.
The
first one we were like, okay, thank God that's out the way. And then that happened, and we were like, that sucked.
Yeah, and then they came out with. Then we're like, okay, this can't be bad. It was the casino battle royale. First of all, the premise of the match. There's too many guys.
I had to take a couple days to come. I had to let this sink.
There's too many guys that come to the ring at once.
Yeah, that was their kind of their concept was 5 at a time.
Yeah.
And each person, just to let everyone know at home, was related to
a card.
And then there was one Joker who we will surely
came out as a real laughing stock, I'll tell you that.
I mean, the concept, is okay. The execution was a little clunky. I think your star came out on top.
But the star came out on top. Before we get to that, who was the star of the match in your opinion? Who was the best?
Okay, because I think there's a difference between the star and the best.
Who's
the star of the match ended up being the Joker because of what happened to him.
Okay, but who's the best then?
Who did I think was the best in the match? I thought Brian Cage was the best in the match.
No, you know who I thought was the best? I had to look him up. I had to remember his name. Will Hobbs.
Will Hobbs, yeah.
Because he came down and we're like, who the fuck is that guy?
How the fuck did this guy get in the match? And then he comes in and I was like, wow, this guy can go. Like, who is this guy? I've never seen him before.
He's been on Dark like the last 5 weeks.
Big dude. Like, he could go.
Big fan of Brian Cage. Will Hobbs made an impression. Let's talk about the winner. And
okay,
let's talk about the winner first.
Let's all go, because I think we each had different issues with this. So let's start with Matt. Just tell us your impressions of the match and something, because I think each of us have a different thing that.
Big fan of Lance Archer. Thought he should have won. His stop and start booking since he's come kind of bothered me a little bit.
Did you think it ruined the main event knowing that Lance Archer won?
Yes.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
I also think Lance Archer should go to WWE. Maybe that's just me. Beginning. He fits there better.
Yeah.
Him in NXT would be he would be rocket ship material again.
Yes. Yeah. The Brian Cage, Darby Allin in the body bag with the thumbtacks.
Oh my god.
Why does Darby Allin continue to do this?
Is he hurt again? Like that was the second worst spot on the match.
But
on the card.
I feel like if Darby's letting Brian Cage do this kind of stuff, you have to think Darby trusts Brian Cage.
You could trust anybody, but like once you're in that body bag and you can't see anything, that's just not good.
Brian Cage is a strong man.
He's a big dude. And Darby Allin weighs 125 pounds.
And I'm not going to bring up my third thing because I think we're just going to talk about that after.
Yeah, for me, I felt the match was really clunky. There was no flow. Guys were having a tough time communicating with each other. I'm okay with Lance Archer winning, but he ruined the main event, like I said. I wanted Eddie Kingston to win because that would have left it open for the main event.
They did say, just FYI, that Lance Archer could challenge TNT champion as well.
Oh, why would you do that? That's stupid.
Yeah. So the thing for me was the greatest pro wrestling entrance of all time. Matt Sydal did the equivalent of leaving his skate guards on while hopping on the ice.
Matt Sydal is Shockmaster 2020.
Oh my god.
He jogged out to the... First of all, the music hit, and I looked at Pat and went, who the fuck is this guy?
And I was like...
And he goes, it's Evan Bourne. And I was like...
Who the fuck is this guy?
And I was like, okay, I remember the name. Like, I remember him getting RKO'd off a shooting star press. I was like, okay. So he comes out, and right away, I even said to Pat, I'm like, damn, they're going shooting star right off the jump. And he attempts to go in the air, and all of us proceed to recoil in our seats thinking he was going to break his neck on the way down.
Well, you know what? Like, I think them being in Daly's place outdoors in Florida where it's humid, guys are sweating.
Well, slick ropes.
Gotta be slick.
And he went to take off, and he did not. He if it was a shooting star press, he got the shoot of the shooting star press done, and the rest was falling.
Trying not to die.
Death.
Probably done that move. What?
Oh, I would say hundreds of times.
I know he said it's not my first botch on it, but you did. You needed to not botch this.
To botch.
Yeah, you did not need to.
Does
botch
he come
this.
out on Wednesday and they just let him squash somebody and do that?
Yes, he has to. Like, he's got to redeem himself.
And then he's got to pop up and kind of look at the camera. And
but he
make
also
a joke
said
of
maybe
it.
it's time I find something new.
As his finisher?
Yeah, because that's like when you say high risk maneuver, like that's a tough one to do consistently.
Yeah.
Which makes me appreciate Ricochet's athleticism so much more. I know. The guy who's...
Don't even... God.
Ricochet does that from the ground.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I really... Actually, I was going to save this for the end of this review, but... of the podcast, or the thing, but it fits here because it's the best fit for the match. I think there's something to be said for WWE being very restrictive with their talent. I think this is where you see why WWE excels. This is where like they need a little more WWE and AEW. This match felt like there was way too much of, all right, guys, just go out there and do your thing. There's no structure. Yeah. There's no one leading the way, I think you could just tell, like, if you're like Cody and guys who've been doing this a long time, and like Hangman and Kenny, yeah, put together your own match. You don't need a lot of oversight, but they need people taking care of Britt, and they need people watching Lucha. Like, if you are not one of the top guys, there has to be more structure, because this was a fucking mess.
Because if you compare a battle royale in WWE compared to this, in WWE it's very clear before the match, okay, this guy's going to be the star, this guy's going to get his spots, this guy's going to win, and this guy you're going to remember.
Yeah. And as a fan, you can follow it. You're like, here it comes, and then you get a little lull.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, here something comes, right? And you can and I found this. And then the last part for me was like, when they were done the tack spot, they were all over the ring.
Yeah.
And that, like, it took me a few days, because usually, I don't know, maybe if I'm just, like, aging out of it. In the old days, I'd be like, oh my God, look at the tack.
I hate tack spots.
Now I'm just sitting there and I'm like, man, they're scattered on the ring. It again felt clunky. Like, there's guys taking spine busters, and like, it's not a hardcore match.
The worst part was the thumbtack. Like, all of the thumbtacks didn't end up in the body bag.
Yeah, that's my point.
They sprinkled out. They shouldn't even have been in the ring.
So now they're all over the ring. There's guys taking like bumps on it, like, who don't need to be. It was cringy. That led into one of my worst memories in wrestling history. So
the next match. Well, we won't even call it a match. The Broken Rules, which is basically a last man standing match.
The Broken Matt Hardy, because he broke.
Bullshit.
Matt Hardy against Sammy Guevara. Matt Hardy wins this match. Had no business winning this match.
Not because he didn't wrestle it well.
But let's just go to it. So
set the scene.
We're up on the scissor lift. You could tell there's 2 tables below it. Okay, they're going off that. He pushes Sammy Guevara off, and Sammy Guevara spears him, and he's supposed to go through the tables. Matt Hardy, I don't know how old Matt Hardy is. He's got to be in his 40s. Why does Matt Hardy need to do this? Second of all, Matt Hardy's done this so much, you should have seen, like, you know what, maybe let's put up a third table just in case I overshoot
Let's put a crash pad. Let's put some boxes.
Yeah, do something.
They did it for Sammy's spot at the end.
Yeah.
This continues to be the problem with pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That match, call it. They continued because he said, I'm fine. No, this is not
that
real.
Was some indie...
I'm sorry. Wrestling is scripted.
Yeah.
You go off script like this where a guy gets hurt, he's out cold.
Like, he was out cold,
couldn't stand.
stiff as a board, looking up at the sky, and God bless
Audrey threw it up
Audrey
twice.
Was like, no, we're done.
She throws the X up and they keep going.
Yeah. And then
throw the X up, call it a day, cut away, go to the next
and
match.
then he gets up and he's trying to keep fighting, and he can't even stand.
It was hard to watch, and this goes back to my earlier point about oversight. This hammered at home, right?
Yeah.
There has to be some checks and balances in place where someone has to be producing this match who will stop and go, "Hey guys, like, that doesn't look safe. Right? Like, that looks wrong. We need to be...
But that was Matt. Matt was for sure producing his own match. He was the agent on his own match, and he was like, yeah, we're good.
Then he can't be.
Yeah.
Then so, AEW has to protect themselves. Like, it's a business.
And then, you know what? Then the match kept going after that, and it was like...
Very uncomfortable.
One of the something I saw on Twitter was like, well, if Matt loses, then he's not supposed to lose. How do you explain it on TV the next day? Who gives a shit? It's wrestling. Just make shit up. Like, I don't know.
A couple weeks ago, we did SummerSlam 2000, where Kurt Angle gets... But that's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Think of what we know about... Okay, so he got an MRI. Matt Hardy got an MRI. Didn't have a concussion. How didn't he have a concussion? Is my question.
Can you imagine in 2000 getting that information? No, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Like, kayfabe is dead.
Yeah.
Kayfabe is dead. We treat them like athletes. If a guy gets a concussion in a hockey game, we stop the fucking game and we put him in a baseball.
I am, of the three of us, I'm going to say it, I am the biggest diehard wrestling fan of the three of us. I love wrestling more than probably almost any sport, almost anything I do. And I sat there, and Jordan can attest it, I was uncomfortable watching that second part of that match go down.
And Matt's not just anybody to us, right? Yeah. Like, if we're looking back, like, Matt is a part of us, and it's like watching...
Like, one thing goes wrong...
It's like, I can't explain it. Like, the one musician who really affected me, like when Chester Bennington died of Linkin Park, that's kind of what it felt like. Like, you were watching someone who was important to you, who you've kind of connected with over the years, be unnecessarily injured, and it was quite... I thought it was very upsetting.
Which goes to the importance and the impact wrestling can have on somebody.
Hey, and you know what? Horrible to say, the first thing I thought when I saw Matt Hardy's head hit the ground, Owen Hart.
All right, moving on.
No, but it's true.
Yeah,
it looked that bad.
It was that bad.
But luckily, next, in my opinion, you guys might disagree, it was the first good match on the card.
It was. This is where
I love this match.
This is the second half where I'm okay. This was
all right, everyone. Here we go. Hold on. All right, now we're done.
We have Sheeta, the AEW Women's Champion, against Thunder Rosa, the NWA Women's Champion.
Yep.
She can go, man.
I love Thunder Rosa. She's awesome.
They can both go.
Like, this was... There's not much to talk about. This was a great wrestling match. This was the best women's wrestling match in AEW history.
I was just going to say, is it all right to say that?
I looked at Pat once the match was done, and I was like, see what happens when we just do a good wrestling match? Right? Like, can't we just have a good wrestling match?
And it takes it upon, like, you got to have someone takes it upon, like, Thunder Rosa clearly went, this is my time to shine. I'm going to make this a big deal. And I'm going to make them want to see me again.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. She didn't win, but I don't think this is the last receiver. But I think NWA is starting up again.
I think so.
Yeah, there's talking about...
She's not going to be there long.
Well, she's the champ. She's probably like...
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's going to be other paychecks. Yeah. Yeah, like, there's no way.
And then next match after that, we have Matt Cardona, Matt's favorite,
Scorpio Sky, baby.
And the natural...
Is he leaving SCU? Is he out?
I hope so.
I think he's out.
If he hasn't, he should.
I think SCU is more behind the scenes now.
They should be.
And the Natural Nightmares against the Dark Order. Good match. It was good.
Is it wrong that... Not wrong, but... Dustin Rhodes
was the star of
this match, and then cuts a fire promo.
Oh yeah, he's rejuvenated himself.
I saw a finish like this coming the whole way, and still thought it was immaculately done.
Yeah, it was
with Cabana missing, like going a little far.
Really well. They got to get Cabana out of the Dark Order because I don't get it.
Or he's got to fully commit to the Dark Order.
But I think something's coming with Cabana. Like, I think
put him under a hood. That'd be cool.
I think he's a transition guy, so they're going out of Cody into whatever's next. And I think this is going to help the Dark Order kind of do another month or so of arc with Cabana.
Yeah. I think Cabana's going to be out, and then it'll be Cabana against Mr. Brody Lee for the TNT title.
For something like that. But it's just something to carry over what's going on, you know?
So the Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and Natural Nightmares win. Great match, solid match. And then we get to the best match on the card. FTR up against Hangman and Omega, the champions for the tag team titles.
Very good.
You know what? Was it as good as it could have been? No,
but
I think it was long, and it was clear it was humid as fuck on that night. Like, they were blown up, and FTR doesn't get blown up.
No.
So it was storytelling. You know what, guys? I'm holding out hope that we get to November and I don't have to chug a beer.
You're gonna have to chug a beer.
Okay, so
the cleaner is coming.
He's coming. First question: Where does FTR go now? I don't think
there's a return. There's a
return that's going to be a Where do they go after Kenny and Hangman?
Probably the Young Bucks. No, I think they might say that for Full Gear
in January.
Who's another tag team?
November.
November.
Best Friends.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
one.
a perfect foil.
But they...
Maybe Santana.
Trent got hurt.
But you know what? That's...
but they can still throw Cassidy
That's the
in there.
best.
He's looking for something to do.
But you know what? The best thing about AEW is there's so many tag teams they can go through.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Best Friends, and I think Santana and Ortiz, like, because then they're trying to make FTR heels, right? I don't think...
But FTR are the really good tweeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can go back and forth, right?
I could see Santana or Ortiz becoming heels.
I think we saw Kenny Omega, the first time Kenny Omega show any real acting chops ever was during this, when he was just fed up and done.
I loved it. Loved it.
That's my next question. Are the Bucks going with Kenny?
No.
Are the Bucks going to turn heel?
The Bucks throw out Hangman Page, and then on All Out, it's like, oh no, come back, we'll talk to him. Like, what the... it doesn't make any sense.
I hope they don't, because I don't want the Young Bucks anywhere near Kenny. I just want Kenny to become cleaner Kenny. And I want those AOP guys to roll their asses on over. And let's get wild.
I saw that. I thought they might show up.
Could you see Kenny versus Mox and get into that?
I think they'd have to do it again. They could do it again because they did have Kenny versus Mox, but this is a very different Kenny. Like this
cleaner Kenny against Mox.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do that, Kenny can't lose that match. I think you're going to see...
That's got to be the crowning moment for him.
Yeah, and I think it'll be cleaner Kenny. I think it's going to be him and Hangman, obviously, and that's going to be a barn burner.
I think he's got to go over Hangman, and then Hangman is, like, spiraling into, like, maybe the
someone
booze.
Yeah.
And then someone lifts him up.
FTR comes with Tully, and they're like, come follow us. Let's go.
Yeah. And then you build Cole back through them to be the champ, hopefully, one day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hangman.
I don't know. I thought it's Adam, right? Yeah. I always go Adam, and then no. I thought that was an incredible match, and I've been waiting to see an edge to Kenny because I think that's what he's been missing. Yeah. So I hope if he does go cleaner, I want him to go North American cleaner. Like he can't be New Japan. It's got to be a little edgier. It's a North American. It's got to be a little edgier, a little more. I need a little more fuck you, like a little more. Right? You got to swear. I know that's
after our conversation the week before, where I was like, I'm not super familiar with Cleaner Kenny. I watched some highlight packs on YouTube.
It's fun.
Man.
It's fun, bad guy.
Yeah.
It's very comic, like SWAT, like
the guy can bring a broom to the ring and it makes sense.
Yeah.
I felt like Cleaner Kenny in Japan could have been a villain in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in the 80s, and it would have been like, yes.
Well, that's really where his gun entrance thing comes from, right? Yeah. Like, and talking to the camera, like that all came about in the cleaner phase.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I don't know, not much more to say on that. Like, I really enjoyed the storytelling.
It was really great.
Yeah, clean break, boys.
Yeah,
clean break.
It was, and then they followed up. This is why I loved AEW, and this is why the first half of the card was so frustrating, because they go from this wrestling clinic with great storytelling to a freaking Mimosa Mayhem match between Orange Cassidy and
That was somehow entertaining.
It made sense. It made sense.
Which was exactly what it needed to be.
I wanted it to be a big vat on the stage, and the loser after a pinfall was thrown in. That's what I liked.
And I liked that they had a ring, and they had these two things, and they just basically wrestled on the edges of the ring.
Yeah. The one issue I had is I lost track of what side of the ring was what, because I looked at Pat and I was like, they haven't even been to the other side, and Pat's like, no, they broke that table.
Yeah.
I was like, no, but they broke two. When did they break the other? Yeah. Like, I just lost track of. I was watching and lost track of what was going on.
The way the card had went up into that point. Every time somebody was like pretending to fall in, it was like, oh, they're gonna fall in on by accident. It would just ruin the match.
Jericho's too good.
And the visual of Chris Jericho in the orange juice after.
Does he show up on Wednesday and somehow has made it look like he hasn't bathed?
Yeah, he's still wet. He's gonna be wet or sticky or something.
I think he just goes like heavy orange spray tan, right? Like he just goes like when Donald Trump
got the
level
white jacket.
Yeah.
He's gonna do something. You know what? This is the thing. It doesn't hurt Chris Jericho. It only helps Orange Cassidy.
Good job in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want.
I know in the middle we were a little worried about a speed wobble in there,
but is there much to talk about in the match? No, the finish is what you're waiting for. It gets over Orange Cassidy, and now it's over, and then they both move on to something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the new thing for Jericho is, I think, really starting to push Guevara and maybe Hager.
I don't want Guevara. I'm so anti-Sammy Guevara right now.
I agree, but I think it's more going back to the inner circle.
Yeah.
And then I think
we'll see with Orange Cassidy.
Maybe FTR is Chris Jericho and Hager. That's who they're up against next.
That'd be fun.
Something like that, or him and Guevara, because they used to.
I can see that. I can see Jericho now being like, I'm going to go after the tag belts.
Guys, I got to tell you, we deserved better. We better.
We did this next match.
No, Mox. Did that finish?
John Moxley.
I wish that fan got to him.
Like, it only took 2 events in wrestling for one stupid ass fan to go try and charge.
Good for them. Some guy made a hell of a tackle. That guy needs some corner for the Packers. He came out of nowhere and just wrapped him up.
The match was exactly what you wanted it to be. It was a fuck finish at the end where MJF come out on Wednesday, be mad at Wardlow, probably go into a program with Wardlow, I think.
Yeah, because I think we're headed towards Archer and Mox.
Or he does what I've been pushing for since this storyline started. He goes on strike because the paradigm shift was used and he got screwed over.
Pat, there it is.
God, I want that to happen so bad.
I think that's what it is.
It was, and there was blood, and the blood vanished at one point, but then it came back, so it was the weirdest cut on MJF. But this felt like a 1980s old school heel versus hero
that's
match.
Why I like Mox.
Incredibly well booked.
Because
MJF, I don't. No, Moxley can't stand him, and I will continue to not stand him.
That's okay. You're allowed to be wrong, but
MJF is the cream of the best thing in wrestling.
But Moxley is a bit of a throwback. He goes back to kind of that
tough guy,
wrestling style.
Man's man.
Yeah, back in the 80s where you were a tough guy and people cheered you, but you weren't really a good guy and you bled and you wrestled these fights and I like that. I mean,
there's not much to talk about in the match. The ending was great. It could go in 2 different directions now with Wardlow screwing him over and the paradigm shift being used. Before we finish, Excalibur is the worst fucking thing in wrestling today.
He's got to go. He
made one comment, and I
hate Excalibur.
Jordan looked at me after he said it. Excalibur made a lowest joke to Tony Schiavone, and it was clear Schiavone looked at him like, "We're not friends, dude. You can't talk about my wife."
I think him and Jim, that was the end.
Yeah,
that
Jim,
was the last.
You could tell they were
not happy.
If you looked at the table after, it looked like Jim was a little bit further over towards Tony. They just had it with Excalibur. How Excalibur's back on the table, I have no idea. But
I have this feeling Tony Khan likes Excalibur.
Somebody he knows where someone's body is.
Because you have arguably...
You don't need Excalibur. Well,
you could just have Schiavone and Dross and you'd be fine.
I really like Taz on the desk.
But I love Taz with them, honestly. Or you have this rotating... Jericho with them was always good. Jericho was better when he was just with Schiavone and JR because they can kind of feed him. They can
and they're friends. You can tell they've been together.
Yeah, they're buddies.
Yeah, no, I would say
that was like, it was like the pay-per-view was shit, and then that happened right when everything was shit.
Yeah.
And like you and I looked at each other and we're like, he cannot be there anymore.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Oh boy. The spice.
I wouldn't mind seeing JR Schiavone bring in Renee Young. Renee Paquette.
I think that's where it's going to go.
Put her there, get rid of Excalibur, put that female presence, make it different than WWE.
So the one thing...
I think she could hang with those two. I
don't hate that idea, but it seems like the AEW wants to go Ross Schiavone and then someone who's more of a
newbie.
A tactical explainer guy. Like Taz.
Excalibur
Excalibur tries to be. I'm not saying he isn't, but he's the one who's saying the move names and he's describing what's happening in more detail.
I think Renee Young could be that.
She was that.
I think it'd be cool if there was a female. I want to see. I would building towards potentially.
I would like to see a female on the desk, but Excalibur sucks.
It just can't be Excalibur.
He sucks ass, and I hate him.
Yeah, and I hate him more and more too. So I forgot.
Why are you wearing a mask? Why are you wearing a mask, man?
Because he's lucha
stupid.
Libre.
It's dumb.
Because he has a past that got him in some trouble, and now we can't yell at him online for it, or at least see him in the streets and be like. Shut up, Excalibur, and not just your Twitter handle.
We didn't give ratings for this, but let's just go chug, sip, cheers. Jordan, chug is bad.
Thank you.
Okay, so what do you guys give it? Matt, you go first.
I'm going to sip.
Okay.
Because the first half was just a dumpster fire.
Jordan?
Sorry for the silence. I'm deep in thought.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
So for me, it's a tale of two parts of the card.
You can't split it. Don't split it.
No,
I'm going to explain how this is going to work.
The first part is a chug because it sucked. And the second part, I would cheers it. So you put it together, you get a sip.
Okay.
That's what
Here's what I'm going to do. AEW poured me a shitty beer. There's a ton of foam at the top. I took that Stella Artois flat thingy. I pushed all
That's just a knife, dude.
Just a knife, man.
I pushed it off with a knife. And I drank the rest of that beautiful not really Belgian, but Belgian stuff. Long story short, there's a lot of foam, and I push that shit to the side, and I would actually, what's good again? I would cheers the rest, but I'm not even chugging. I'm pushing it into a sink. Yeah. That's how shit the start of it was.
So yeah.
All right.
I like that.
We got that off our chest. Lots of good, lots of bad. And when we come back, guys,
we are rolling.
We got a flight and a pint of female wrestlers when we come back. Very excited.
This is dangerous, JR. This is real dangerous.
Oh, all right. This is
guys, hold on.
Oh,
I did it.
Good for you. You know what? This might actually be becoming one of my favorite segment we do on the show. I do like the opening segments because we kind of just shoot the shit and talk and it's fun. But the flight and a pint.
Yes.
It's very creative. It's very fun.
I still love the retro reviews.
Yeah, you're big
I think
retro
it's nice
guy.
that we have two things that we enjoy. Because the flight and the pint's good because we get that interaction, and the retro review is almost because there's that contentiousness, right? And I think that's good to have. And then the retro review is always fun because I think it's a cool dynamic of like you guys really dig into it, and then I'm over here just like googling people on the fly, trying to figure out if it's before 2000. I'm like, what is a Luna Vachon?
Yeah, and then well, my queen, and then but depending on how many beers
That's
you have,
first overall pick. Right?
Sometimes before you, something hit the ground there.
Ever seen three podcasters shit themselves because something fell on the floor upstairs?
Depending on how many beers Jordan has, he tries to jump in on the retro reviews and not knowing anything, which is always a good time.
Yeah, last time we did this, did you not pick the leg drop of Doom as one of your greatest finishers of all time?
You're a dumbass.
I was
Like
vindicated by
stupid
many
idiot?
people via Twitter about my picks. Thank you.
No,
Anyways.
no one on Twitter thought that was good.
Anyway,
Vindicated's a bad thing, right?
Vindicated. Oh, God. I am selfish.
So this week, very excited to do, we are doing the female wrestlers flight and a pint.
Wait, I'm the one who... God, that was so shit. Sorry, everybody at home. Let me really get this going for you. This week, we are drinking a flight and a pint. A flight and an extra pint of female wrestlers. You're going to pick your best 5, and then when you do, we're going to make fun of it online. And by you, I really mean Pat, who's probably going to pick somehow the leg drop of Doom as the greatest female wrestler of all time. And that, Patrick, is how you intro this segment.
Pat, just for the record, the equivalent to the leg drop of Doom for female wrestlers
he might take it.
is Bertha Faye.
I don't even know who that is.
You should look her up. Jordan, look her up.
Okay, so anyway, because very simply for the order of this week's flight and a pint.
R.I.P. by the way, Bertha Faye.
Yeah, so we are going to go.
She could be an alien for all I know.
We are going to go with Jordan picking first.
Why?
Which puts him on the hot seat.
Why?
Why? Because he's the only one who hasn't picked first yet.
Oh, and it'll be hilarious when he
I have to
Ripley.
sanitize my computer now. I typed in Bertha Faye.
So, Jordan, you're going to lead things off. You have one job to do right now. And I don't think you're going to do it because you're going to chicken out. And I think you're going to be upset when you don't get her. So I suggest you pick her first. I will go to Jordan with the first overall pick.
I truly believe in my heart of hearts that I'm going to get this pick down the road. That the person who I truly want to take.
Come back to me, second pick.
There's no way that you guys will take her this high. So I'm going to take what truly should be the first overall pick, China. My first selection is China. China is the greatest female wrestler of all time.
Okay, so Jordan's already
a barrier breaker, right? A leader, a part of one of the greatest factions in WWE history, and the eighth? Was she the eighth?
Eighth wonder of the world.
Eighth wonder of the world. Super did.
Or no, the ninth
research.
Because Andre the Giant was
the eighth. Yeah, that's what I got.
She was the ninth wonder of the world.
So long story short, just know that if you misspell the name of a country, greatness will fall upon you. Hence why my name is spelled Jordyn.
Now,
your name is not spelled that way.
It's not spelled that way.
Damn it.
So Matt
Can I just say?
Yeah.
With that, so you before we started recording, said that there was 2 possible first overall picks. Was that one of them?
No.
Okay, it wasn't one of mine.
No.
Either. Okay.
What?
That was a reach. That was terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we're in agreement.
So for myself, I will have to pick one of those 2 women. That should have been the first 2 picks. Jordan ruined it for all of us. So, Matt, I and Jordan, for my first pick, Flight to Pint Female Wrestlers, Patrick Gagne will be selecting with the second overall pick, Trish Stratus.
I respect that.
It's best wrestlers, not best looking wrestlers.
Well, Trish Stratus actually main evented Raw with the person who I believe Matt will take 3rd overall. And
you don't know that.
Put on a great match with her. She was women's champion. She was fantastic.
And she let Miss Jacqueline kick the shit out of her for 6 months.
And if you know the story of Trish Stratus, she came in as a fitness model with no wrestling background, worked her ass off, became a very good talent, and came back later on for the Evolution pay-per-view, and I could say was the best work she's ever put in the ring.
If you put Chyna and Trish in a ring, who wins?
Trish Stratus, because she's a better wrestler.
No. Chyna.
Oh, now we're talking about real fights.
Chyna. No, real or booked.
Stupid. Okay, Jordan, you're cut off. Okay, Matt, go on and select the correct second best wrestler in history, female wrestler.
Now, this one, I feel like Jordan can get on board with this one just because of how she.
Shayna Baszler, got it.
No. But she was influential just because she wrestled a different style than all the other females of the era. Really, there are 4, maybe 5 from the Attitude, early Ruthless Aggression area that you can honestly say were good workers. So I'm going to take Lita.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to take
Lita. It was Lita or Chyna for me.
Lita was tough too. You watch some of those
she was in TLC matches.
Those TLC matches, she took some of the best bumps in the match.
It was 8 dudes in Lita.
Yeah. And
yes, it was.
And she got
6 dudes.
No, there was 8 because the 2
No,
other
I
run-ins.
meant the run-in. I meant, I think it was Spike and Rhino,
she
right?
was not out of place in those matches at all.
No, she took better bumps than Rhino and...
And, I mean, I guess not on purpose, but she was able to do multiple gimmicks? Because she kind of went down the rated R route.
Yeah.
Her rated R, that's probably some of her best valet work.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate valet.
Yeah, I know. It devalues them, but or her.
But that's the term they use.
She was a manager. That was her best managerial work, in my opinion. I felt like with the Hardys early on, she wasn't much of a manager.
Because that was something I can't believe they're doing this on TV shit. Like Edge in the bed in the ring. I was like,
but
we're really hammering this TSN warning.
Yeah.
Like this TSN warning getting a workout. It might be in all caps.
That was the only thing getting a workout.
So Matt, back to you. Snake out. Wow.
I wasn't sure Pat heard that.
I was working on it that time. I was about 16.
Wow.
So I started
You were
working
definitely pumping, for sure.
Wow.
I'll just take a turn. With my second pick, I'm going to leave it for you, Pat. You can... I'm going to take Alundra Blaze.
Oh, I was going with.
Sorry, who?
Oh God.
Alundra Blaze.
This is why your list is gonna blow, Jordan.
Alundra Blaze carried WWF women's division. She was the only wrestler.
She was so hard done by. Like,
Medusa.
So yeah,
yes,
Medusa.
That was her name. Medusa.
I was like, who in the 7 hells?
The best part about Medusa was she was in WWF and she was the champion, and they just kept bringing in people in Bull Nakano.
They kept bringing in all the women she wrestled in Japan who kicked the crap out of her and taught her how to wrestle. They brought her in. They had some good matches.
Yeah.
Her match at WrestleMania 10 is a good match.
Great match. And then she went to WCW, and they didn't really have a women's division there either. She ended up wrestling men and didn't look out of place. That she is what they wanted Chyna to be.
Yes.
And
100%.
Chyna just wasn't a good worker. So Alundra Blaze was what...
Chyna was a fantastic gimmick, though. I'll give Jordan that.
She was gimmick all the way, but she wasn't a good worker.
Yeah. Alundra Blaze was a good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Agree to disagree.
Pat, I think we're back to you now.
All right, this is where... You know what? I hate to go so recent, but...
Oh, no.
At the end of the day...
Don't do it. You take her. I'll kill you.
At the end of the day... She is the face of the women's division.
Don't do
take
it.
her,
I didn't take her. I didn't take her because I thought I could come around and take her again.
She's gonna. I don't even know if I'm going to say the same person, but she has the generational talent,
no.
and she comes out and she oozes charisma, which she got from her father. I'm picking Charlotte Flair, and there's no other reason to. Yeah.
The fact that I didn't pick her is my own fault. She is a second round pick.
you know,
she's a tweet. She could
have been first round. I almost took her in the first round.
You could put her ahead of leader.
Yeah.
Is she a top? Okay, we didn't take her in the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
When she's done, she.
Well,
will
when
be.
she's done, she might be the best.
She'll be Mount Rushmore women's wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. She can work. She knows how to work a crowd. Is she a draw? Depends on the night. But she was in the first main event of WrestleMania for women, and she deserved it, and she was great in that spot.
Yeah, she was, and I think you don't have her there.
It doesn't feel the same.
It wouldn't have felt.
Yeah,
you needed her there, not only because Ronda Rousey wasn't. I don't think she had the chops.
There.
Yet. But I think to not have Charlotte there is just.
Yeah. So yeah, Jordan, you can go. I see you scrolling through the internet. You can pick someone that is.
I'm very excited about my late round value. Like, I'm really just sitting here and trying to figure out.
Let's go with your second round pick.
Can you just stop being such a grumpy puss for 10 seconds?
You picked China.
Just shut up and let me just wax poetic about my picks.
Go on.
Okay?
Go on.
Thank you.
I don't hate China in the first round. I hate her as the first overall.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's No.
I mean, she probably shouldn't have made me the first overall pick. Then,
I thought you were going to take Rhea Ripley.
When she becomes Peyton Manning, okay, and Pat has Ryan Leaf over there, all right, you're all going to wish, even though it already happened, not the point.
We're going with the Ryan Leaf.
Yeah, we're going back to that.
Yeah, we're going back to that.
Grasping at straws.
This is a tough pick. I'm rolling this around in my head, and I think I'm just going to go back to people. You know what? Screw it. I don't even care about late round value. She deserves to be here, and she's going to be here. Ajak Kong is getting taken at the end of second round.
Who? Who? He asks inquisitively.
So you know the lady in New Japan who has like the red and blue war paint and the hands, she has the gloved hands, and she's just huge. She came out.
Awesome Kong.
No, Aha Kong.
Yeah, I know who she is now.
Awesome Kong and her wrestled, correct?
She has been doing this for years in Japan.
AJA?
Yes, years in Japan.
Did you just read that?
No, she is AJAKONG.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the badass, whoop-ass female wrestler, it starts with her. And that's the spirit. She is really where a lot of these, like, opening the door for, like, the badass MMA style ass. Oh, by the way, if you want to see some of the biggest receipts, like, she has a list of receipts CVS long, right? Just go on YouTube and just watch her hand out receipts.
This is why you shouldn't have, like, your picks are fine, but they're just not first.
I'm kind of, you know what? I'm going to throw Jordan a bone here.
Maybe you should like wrestling more and watch all the talent
available.
available.
You know what, Jordan? I have homework this week. I'm going to go watch some Ajak Kong.
Good.
Yes,
you should.
But I'm going to say, like, I kind of like that Jordan goes and
someone's got to respect the other parts of wrestling.
Hey, you know what? Hey, don't get me wrong.
We ignore it a little bit because
it's just not here.
Anyways, my third round pick is Rhea Ripley. And the simple reason
Jordan,
why,
like, realistically, you could have picked her last. And
this is a long-term pick. This is going to look great 15 years from now, right? I got a great roster after the last two Flight of the Pines. Awesome roster. Starters all over. Right now, I'm picking my backup quarterback who's going to sit behind the Aaron Rodgers of picks, a.k.a. the people's elbow from the last time we did this.
Still not a finisher.
It's not a finisher.
It's a fucking finisher. Okay? Rhea Ripley, the future of women's wrestling.
You know what will elevate Rhea Ripley to the next level?
More leather.
A better finisher. We want to talk about finishers from the last Fight in a Pint. Rhea Ripley, I hate the pub handle slam.
I like her submission finisher a lot better than than the Riptide.
Pub handle slams are dumb. There, I said it.
The only person who's ever made a power slam cool was Braun and Mark Henry. Like a running power slam.
Yeah,
but a pub handle slam's not even a...
No, what I'm saying, slam. Like, that's my point. It's like...
I'd argue Bulldog.
I'm getting quiet because I feel like these next three picks...
are going to be shit.
Are tough for me because I don't know if I can get them later, if I can get them now.
That was my conundrum.
So, I think...
I really feel like Aha Kong was going right off the board.
The one I didn't know how to spell.
Yeah, you probably could have taken her last pick. So for me, this next one, I think is just a nostalgia pick for me because I do watch a lot of old stuff, and I do appreciate what she did for the business, and I think she deserves to be this high up. Not only because she was a good worker, she's the equivalent of, she's a great worker. I don't know if you'd be able to find a really good match with her. I'm going to go with Sensational Sherry.
Damn it!
Sherry Martel.
Why? Why?
So, now, Jordan's kind of looks puzzled. Sherry Martel was a manager from what we can tell. She was a great manager with Macho Man.
Elevated people. You put her with top guys and elevated top guys beyond top status.
So she was always involved in matches, taking bumps, and she did it really well.
So she wasn't.
She was the
because
she was the female Bobby Heenan.
The reason she had to do what she did as a manager is because women's wrestling wasn't promoted and wasn't spotlighted.
So she wasn't a wrestler?
But if you go back in time,
she was a women's champion.
When Vince McMahon was early on in the WWF having women's matches, she was right up there, and she was a top star because she can bump, she can work, she could work the different style that they were working back then. Will you go back and find a 5-star match with Sherry Martel in it? No. But she deserves to be recognized as an important figure in women's wrestling, and she is, at that point, one of the best of all time. Matt, to you.
That's it?
That's
You're
it.
good?
Yeah.
I hate you, first of all. Taking my last 2 picks. So now I'm looking at my list and panicking a little bit. And
boy.
this is me stalling. So
Very subtle.
I don't want to go too much into the new generation yet, because I feel like
It is the best generation. You could almost make a whole list of people in the last 10 years.
the women's revolution has really been really great for female wrestling. But I feel like I've got 3 women from that era that I can pick last, and I'll be okay with it. And I got to make 2 picks here. And I feel like I need to give these women props, because in an era of really bad wrestling, they were good. I'm going to go Beth Phoenix.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, you guys are... Explain your gasps.
See,
of
but you know what?
disbelief.
There's other people I'd pick ahead of Beth.
But I think Beth. What happened with Beth is she is been pushed by WWE as a great figure in female wrestling. I was never a big fan of Beth Phoenix. She was powerful, sure. She could put on some pretty good matches at the time. But if I'm looking at female wrestling history, Beth Phoenix doesn't even jump into my brain.
It just screamed like wet bread.
Yeah, a little
she's
bit.
Just pretty boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think she has a lot of respect of the women in the room, and I think that has to be...
Yeah, I think that's fair. But like, it's just one of those ones I was never a huge fan of her. Am I going to chirp you for reaching for her? Yeah, a little bit, because, that's just what I do. But yeah, I just wouldn't have picked her, but I respect the pick. It's not a bad pick.
Okay, so...
Come back around for you.
Now I'm going to go to the Revolution. Quickly, I made my mind up. I'm like, screw it, I'm going to it. Becky Lynch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, she's the man.
First double champ.
She's Becky two belts.
My question is, if you take the last 2 years out of Becky Lynch's career, is she even on this list?
No. Probably not.
No.
But that's the 2 years she had.
Okay, I'm about
That's
to
how
say
important
something.
those 2 years are for her.
I'm about to say something a little bit controversial.
Oh,
I think.
Go on.
You're about to bite your mic. That's okay. The last 2 years for Becky Lynch have been about as Stone Cold Steve Austin as I think you're going to get in the modern era. And I'm going to go with that.
She ended up main eventing WrestleMania. I mean,
If it wasn't for a mistimed blow by stupid Nia Jax,
how is she going to make this list?
timeout.
not answering you on that.
No, I think say what you will about Nia Jax, that mistimed blow made one of the most iconic women's pictures in wrestling of her.
Yeah, but it might have it almost halted a run.
Yeah, but
it
sometimes
extended her.
Yeah, sometimes the greatest things come from the edge of disaster.
If Stone Cold doesn't break his neck, if he doesn't take that bad,
he has to change his game.
He changed his game. He went 3 months without really wrestling a match because he couldn't. So he did the McMahon stuff, which elevated him next level. If Becky Lynch goes into Survivor Series and loses to Ronda Rousey, does she headline WrestleMania? No.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I think there's something that halts that in the way. Yeah, and so, thank you, Nia Jax.
Well, no, I mean, like,
Yeah,
Like, she's never
Let's not go that
she's not
far,
going to
but-
get picked on this list, but whatever.
What?
So I'm next. I'm next up.
Catering.
So so for me,
Her and
this-
Tamina would be catering tag
there's
team
two
champions.
women that I'm trying to decide upon because my fifth pick, if I can get her, is going to be blow everybody's mind. But for me, this is
Reach.
someone that I think doesn't get a lot of credit in WWE history,
I have a feeling I know where
but
you're going with
was absolutely the face of a division in another organization for a long time.
this. A small organization?
A smaller one, and I don't think she gets her due, and I think she should because she was hella talented, and you can go back and watch some of her matches in that organization, and she was fantastic, and she's Canadian.
Gail Kim?
Gail
Kim.
Kim.
Yeah,
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
You know what?
We all agree.
I watched.
And I'd say right where she should be, too.
Yes.
Because
Next-
she was women's wrestling. She was
So-
the knockouts division or whatever you want to call it.
Next week, we're going to do Unforgiven 2003. I've watched about half the card already. And at one point, there's early Trish Stratus teaming with early Lita. Lita coming back actually from a neck injury. Who did they put them in there against?
Gail Kim.
Gail Kim and Molly Holly.
Yeah. Oh, that's you can make it look like $1 million.
Yeah. And guess what? That was a good match.
Yeah.
It was 6 minutes. It was solid.
Yeah.
I looked at that and I was like, man, Gail Kim was pretty good.
Gail Kim
So
had
I
a
went
lot-
and watched
Yeah.
30 minutes of Gail Kim matches on YouTube.
Gail Kim had some good matches with Awesome Kong, and Awesome Kong's a tough one to have good matches with because she's
Yeah.
so big.
Yes, she's like the 80s kind of lumbering,
and she's good,
big
and
worker.
she serves a purpose, but she's tough to have a good match with, and Gail Kim could fly around for her and move quick, and it was good. So
Yeah.
Jordan,
I don't hate your pick, Pat.
4 and 5, you're up.
I'm about to drink.
So, from your pick...
I'm going to cut you off.
Oh.
I had the cute little number, which was fantastic. I literally bought...
Hurry up, we're going long.
Okay, well, I'm about to open a blueberry.
Pat's such a sourpuss. Hurry up! Shut up! Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Trans-Canada. Your mixer pack is great. It's fantastic. I buy it every time. Stop putting the blueberry in it, please, because
A lot of people like it.
I know.
Which blows me away.
Blows
Okay.
me away. It's not good.
So, from what you said before, if someone isn't a wrestler their entire career, but they've dabbled
You're
in
going
it.
Sable.
No. But they've dabbled in it.
Yeah,
Okay. My fourth pick is going to be Stephanie McMahon.
sure,
Good pick.
absolutely.
I don't hate that pick.
She's very important to women's wrestling
Yeah,
history.
like, I would argue, if you look at it outside of a ring, the most important... Like, if Vince doesn't have a daughter...
If Vince doesn't have a daughter,
I mean...
women are still in bikinis wrestling
Yeah.
stink
Yeah.
face matches.
I think so.
So, yeah, I thought that pick would get a little more sugar, so I guess I will move on to the last one, he said, as he was hoping you guys would discuss,
No,
so
I
I
didn't-
could think about it
so
more.
She was
No,
a
it's-
women's champion.
It's
with-
okay, I do have my last one. This is just going to be a me favorite pick. I really enjoyed watching AJ Lee wrestle.
Oh, yeah. hey.
That's
I thought she was just a stud of that Divas division. It was her and Paige for me who were like the transition
Divas
people.
division. Ugh.
Yeah.
But that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
a
It was
butterfly. It was
butterfly
lame
dog.
as
I
shit.
hated it.
But you know what, Jordan? I think what your
that
last
was
two
Divas
picks
search.
were, they weren't maybe the best technical wrestlers, but both of them were so entertaining.
Yeah,
at
and
some point.
carriers.
Yeah.
Like they carry.
Sure, did Stephanie McMahon get the women's title because she's a McMahon? Yeah, but it brought eyes to that title, and she was important to elevating that
Early
division.
2000s, Stephanie McMahon was one of the greatest vehicles for storytelling, I think, in wrestling history.
so many, like the wedding,
Yeah.
the Jericho promo.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you could go.
there's so much good stuff.
And she just she's
That's good shit.
great character. And AJ Lee,
Ministry
same
of
thing.
Darkness.
Forgot about
did
that.
I think AJ Lee was a good wrestler? Not really.
She was okay.
She was
was
okay
alright.
for the time. Like she had some good matches with
better
Paige.
than the Bellas.
Yeah, the Bellas are on this list. I'm not. This will be the last episode, bro. So
Can I pick them both?
No.
Because then I get 6?
No.
No? Okay, then I'm not
That'd be
picking them.
hella sweet.
So for me, it was AJ Lee was just she served a purpose for the time. If she came back, would she be a big deal? Yeah, but as a character, wouldn't really want to see her in a match just because of where the division's going. So yeah, my fifth pick may be a little controversial. Jordan may be a little upset with it. I'm not too sure how he's going to react to it. But for me,
Shotzi Blackheart.
God no,
Jesus.
no. So for me, my fifth pick really elevated the women's division to a point that it is now in a very short
Sable.
period of time. No, not Sable.
Paige.
Roll Tide though.
Roll Tide.
Yeah.
JR is having a big old glass of water right now. So
Ladies
thirsty.
and gentlemen, the fifth pick on Pat's team for Flight and Pint Women's Wrestlers, Ronda Rousey.
Why?
I don't hate that because she was another reason that match was a main
She's
event.
another vehicle.
But you know what though? The thing with Ronda,
I don't hate it, but I think it's because I was like,
I had a lot of respect for Ronda when she came in and did that because I was like, okay, she's just this MMA. She's gonna come in, try and collect a paycheck, and she's just gonna leave.
but she
She's a
kind of
wrestler.
did.
She's a
She
no, but-
kind of
did,
that.
but it was like,
I think she's gonna.
But I
come
think it's
back,
because
though.
I think it's because the fans got to her and she was not
yeah,
happy about
and
it.
she didn't know how to react to it. But she's not a wrestler, right? But she came in and she had all her matches that I can think of that she had.
they were well produced.
They were draws, and
Oh, yeah.
and she practiced them. She worked everything out with the other talent, and nothing looked bad.
Can I go out on a
She
limb
took
here?
some wicked ass bumps too.
Yeah.
That spot with Charlotte kicking her in the car. My word.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on a limb here. Let's say she gets pregnant, has a kid, and then decides to come back.
Right?
She comes back as a heel,
Has to.
Has to.
and I think that could be one hell of a
Yeah,
run.
because whoever you put her with, it's Rocket Ship
Well, she'd
City.
be with her three other buddies there.
Yeah, you put her with.
Oh well, I guess Shayna might be legit by then,
Yeah.
and then the other two can
Shayna
just
and
fucking
then
dilly
Jasmine
around.
Dukes
Like
and
those.
the other
the
one that I
other
can't
the
even
other
think
two
of.
are the other two are J&J security.
Yeah. They're just like her
Yeah.
comedy act of like protecting her, but they can't really protect her.
And honestly, like you said, Rocket Ship City. You all of a sudden are shooting baby faces to the moon with
So,
heel Ronda Rousey.
I know Ronda's. I don't know what Travis Brown's doing. My gut would say not much. I think they own a farm.
Yes.
But Ronda's making a pretty good paycheck from Facebook gaming.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, so she's doing streaming on Facebook, so they're totally not stealing all our information. And so I wonder if she wants to come back. Like, I don't know if she loved the industry.
No, I don't think she loved it that much, but I think for the short period of time she was there, she was very important to what they were building. Is there an Evolution pay-per-view if Ronda Rousey doesn't come in?
No,
They don't
I think
WrestleMania. They don't main event
No.
WrestleMania if she doesn't.
No.
She's a draw. She was a draw for the time. She was a draw in MMA, even though if you look back in like 10 years, was Ronda Rousey a really good MMA fighter?
No.
No. But was Chuck
Incredible
Liddell
judo practice.
was Chuck Liddell a good MMA fighter? If you look
in the
back
grand scheme of things, no.
no, but they're draws. They have looks. They have a presence.
Whoa.
Actually, you know what? If anyone would, Chuck.
I spent more money on Chuck Liddell
Yeah.
pay-per-views
Because
than probably any... No, GSP.
He had
I
an
spent the most
ab
on
gut.
GSP.
He had a beer gut with abs. So it's my life
And he fought with his
aspiration.
hands at his waist out wide.
Yeah.
That guy threw meat hooks for him. Like he just
Yeah.
threw
Hey,
hammers
Matt,
from his hips.
You're the last pick, buddy.
Last pick, big deal.
Yeah, and I'm going to go another modern one, another recent one. So I shouted out Molly Holly earlier. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out, not shoot out. Whoa.
Whoa.
Shout out Natalia.
What match were you watching?
You're picking Natalia?
No, I'm not picking.
No, we don't. You have to pick, and then
Yeah.
we'll
Oh.
do the
I'm
honorable
bending the
mentions.
rules, guys, because I'm the last pick and I make the rules. I'm going to pick Asuka.
Okay. That's,
I like
that's why
Asuka.
I almost took her. Dude.
Asuka.
There's better final picks than that.
Yeah,
You
but
think
Asuka was
so?
big in Japan too, right? You have to remember
Yeah,
that.
like Asuka was big in Japan. She had this crazy.
What is this, a corny t-shirt? I'm pretty big in Japan.
She had a crazy run in NXT, which I think they're I would not be opposed if that's what they're building to a little bit on the main roster. I could see that maybe coming.
Yeah.
With Charlotte out, she's kind of been like her, Bailey, and Sasha have kind of been given the ball and been like, you guys are carrying the women's division right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's... Is there other people I could have picked, Jordan? Yes, absolutely. I like my pick.
So, I mean, if you do...
I think my team beats all of yours.
We're only picking 15 women. So if you look back on honorable mentions, you said Natalia. Is Natalia, in grand scheme of things? No, she's kind of that gatekeeper that puts people over. You'll make fun of me. Luna Vachon back in the day had a big
Fabulous Moolah.
May Young could be on there too.
Disavow,
yeah, maybe Disavow. But
she was.
Yeah. You have Bailey and Sasha. They're important.
Yeah.
I think when we'll look back, like this modern era will
Mickey
almost
James.
like
Mickey James.
this modern era will just be better wrestlers, right? Like it's almost like how if you took football players from now versus the 1960s, like it's night and day, right?
I think it's
like that. It's like the women now are all
you
going
could
to be
easily
better
throw
wrestlers.
Alexa Bliss in there.
You could put Paige in there.
Yeah. From your Attitude Era, I think
Molly Holly.
You can go
Jacqueline,
Ivory,
Miss Jacqueline.
Jacqueline.
Victoria.
Sable, I think you have to keep her in the conversation. She wrestled a little bit.
She did what she was asked to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
And she made lots of money.
And we made fun of the Bella Twins earlier.
Stacy Keebler,
Stacey, let's go.
I wouldn't put her.
Tori Wilson.
Kelly
Let's
Kelly,
go.
Michelle McCool,
Don't say Kelly Kelly. I hate Kelly Kelly.
But the Bella Twins, I think.
Mickey James. Oh, that's someone we should.
Yeah, we already said it.
Yeah.
Oh, did we? Damn it.
The Bella Twins were up there.
Yeah.
We joked before we started recording this segment, like Bull Nakano, but Bull Nakano, like
Can I read? Okay, can I?
someone that North American fans will remember.
Can I read some names? Mildred Burke, supposed to be like big in the 30s, 40s,
Yeah.
50s. Some lists had her up really high. Awesome Kong, I feel like.
We talked about her a little bit.
Yeah.
Jaguar Yokota.
No, I don't know that one.
Some June Byers, NWA long
Wendy
time.
Richter.
Wendy Richter.
Wendy
You know what?
Richter
You know
was
what?
next
But
on
if
the
you go in
list.
the grand
Judy
scheme of things-
Grable.
If you go in the grand scheme of things with Wendy Richter, she wasn't around for that long, and she's not that important. She was just in the MTV moment there.
Yeah, she was the
Brawl to settle it all.
brawl.
So apparently there's someone, and I've never heard of this lady, but there's two websites I looked at that said she was arguably the best female wrestler in the world right now. Sarah Del Rey.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
She's a trainer now. She's a trainer in NXT.
Oh, okay.
She's married to Cesaro.
Because
who
I was
works out John Cena.
confused because
Are they married?
Yes, or they're dating, or they've been together for a long time.
Yeah, they work out together. So I don't know if you watched the Big Show
who's
Broken Skull
cheerleader
sessions,
Melissa?
No.
but he said that John Cena is the most functionally strong person he has ever been in the ring with.
Wow.
So, yeah.
glad we found a way to get John Cena into this fucking
So, anyways, a
podcast.
recap. Jordan had the first overall pick. He picked China.
Nailed it.
Aja Kong, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie McMahon, and AJ Lee. Pat had
Perfect.
second overall pick. He picked Trish Stratus, Charlotte Flair, Sherry Martel, Gail Kim, and Ronda Rousey. And Matt
Pick the best team.
brought up the rear and went Lita, Alundra Blaze, or Medusa, Beth Phoenix, Becky Lynch, and Asuka. That was another flight in a pint, and we did female wrestlers. Great job, guys, except for Jordan. And we end tonight's show saying, once again, thank you to all our listeners who stuck around to the end of the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
All four of you, we
All four
appreciate
of
you very
We
much.
appreciate yous.
I think we might be at 5 this week.
Wow. So, yeah.
I'll
so
talk to my mom about
you
listening
can
to all this.
follow us on Untapped at JSCO55, at Gagne Matt with a couple T's.
Just, yeah, two.
What?
You can't do it. It ruins it, Matt.
I know, that's
you can
why I
follow
did
me
it.
at Pat Gagne. You can follow us on Instagram at Bros Bumps and Beers A&D. You can follow us on Twitter. Probably won't though, because that's no one's following us on that.
Twitter? I hate Twitter.
I do too.
And I'm
Bros
on it
Bumps
all the
Beers.
time.
If you're an indie wrestler, follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, join the growing legions.
Hammerstone.
Hammerstone.
What's
the
that?
suplex
working on
rock
it.
bottom thingy.
Yeah.
I'm working on it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see you next week. We got Unforgiven 2003 on the Retro Review. And you remember to drink local, and we'll see you next week.